The book is called Random Road. It's a murder mystery. It takes place in a small town in Connecticut. 6 people are found hacked to death right from the very first sentence. My protagonist, strangely enough, is a female alcoholic reporter who makes bad life decisions. And everybody seems to like her. Her name's Geneva Chase. She's flawed, but she's very, very bright. Her heart's in the right place, and she's a snarky smartass. The first success was getting an agent. The agents are really the gatekeepers to all the legitimate publishers, and she specializes in debut mystery authors. I took a long time in finding just the right agent. I had to market myself to that sort of agent in order to get her attention. She gets 100 queries a day. She signed me to a contract. She got me a 2-book deal with Poison Pen Press, who specializes in murder mysteries. I was nationally reviewed. We got great reviews. The hard copy was sold out before the launch date. Libraries picked it up across the United States. We were in our 2nd hard copy printing, and I just finished the 2nd book, Darkness Lane. My editor loves it. She says there was one scene that made her skin crawl, which means I nailed it. My advice in finding an agent, and I spent 20 years trying to get my first book published. This was my 5th attempt at getting a novel published. This time what I did, I was very specific. I Googled agents, mysteries, debut authors, and I got about 30 of them. And then I spent time researching each and every one of those agents, who were their clients. I specifically engineered each query for those agents, so it wasn't just a mass letter that went out. And out of that 30, I had 4 agents who asked for the full manuscript. And that's the first time that's ever happened. Kimberly Cameron is my agent. She's out of San Francisco. She's brilliant, and she is relentless. She would not give up my cause, and she got me a great deal. Any legitimate agent, you don't pay anything up front, but she takes 15% of everything I make for the rest of my life when it comes to publishing. For her, it was the very first sentence. The first sentence of the novel is, "Last night Hieronymus Bosch met the rich and famous." And that hooked her right away. And when she saw that this was a female reporter, the headline was 6 nude bodies found on island, she loved it. It started out with action, and there's conflict throughout the entire book. And with a minimal amount of editing, we found a publisher. My web presence at that point in time was pretty non-existent. Since then, we've got, of course, a website. We're heavy on social media. We worked through our publishers' marketing agents. The cover was designed by a brilliant gentleman in the UK that was subcontracted by the publisher. The one thing that really helped us out a lot was the national reviews. If you Google Random Road and Thomas Kies and Geneva Chase, there's a huge amount on the internet right now. The advice I give as far as getting an agent to work with you is be willing to listen. They are the gatekeepers. They're the experts in this particular market of publishing. And go to writers' conferences. This is a great place to interact with other writers, publishers, and agents. They will give you some very good advice. They're here to talk with you. And in some cases, with some of the writers' conferences, you have the opportunity to have them look at sample chapters. So just keep at it and don't give up. Learn as much about the craft as you possibly can. As I said before, this was my 5th novel. The very first one was a historical novel, not my genre. It was just god-awful. The other 3, one was a thriller, one was a horror novel, another one was a mystery. And that mystery was actually picked up by another agent in New York. And even if you get an agent, there's no guarantee they're going to find you a publisher. He could not sell that book. And like any good agent, he exercised his right to drop me like a bad habit. But I didn't stop. I was just too stupid to stop. And I knew at some point in time I wanted to be a mystery writer. And now I am. If you've got a dream, if you've always wanted to be something or do something, go after it. I am absolutely blessed in my life. I've had jobs that I've absolutely loved. I've been in the newspaper business and magazine business for 30 years. I'm not in that anymore. I'm now the president of a chamber of commerce. I'm a cheerleader for one of the nicest places in America. What better job is that? The only icing to that cake would be to be a novelist, which I've wanted to be since I was a little boy. I have it all. I see authors getting stuck by not having enough confidence in what they're doing. I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me and said, I could write a book. I've got this great idea. And they do have a really good idea, but they don't sit down and work at it. And it is a lot of work to write down 350 pages of prose that maybe nobody's ever going to read. That's daunting. But don't give up. Keep doing it and talk to other writers. Coming to the Writers Fair that we have on Saturday, that's going to be great. You get to interact with people who write and read. That's the most important part. If you want to be a writer, do it. Every day, write something down on paper. Write it on your laptop. But every day, write something, even if it's just a single sentence or a single thought. My name is Thomas Kies. I'm the author of Random Road, soon to be the author of Darkness Lane, and you can reach me by my website, www.thomaskiesauthor.com.